Welcome to the Texas Insider Fishing Report. Presented by Yamaha.
Welcome to the Texas Insider Fishing Report. We're quickly approaching the end of September. Autumn has officially arrived and our patterns are rapidly changing, and so are some things around here. Rick, I can't believe it's our finale show, but it sure has been a great season with unbelievable catches.
We have had lots of catches. We've had great fishing in the Gulf this year because we finally got great weather in August and September. So, you know what? We've had a really good season. Thank you so much.
Exactly. Well, before we head into our first region, let's see what Dave has to say at the Parts View Workbench. You've had a good run over there, Dave.
I'm telling you, I hate to see the year end. I really do. It's come on, Rick. Let's keep doing it.
Do it year round.
Keep doing it.
Let's go. All right, let's begin our finale with Mike McFarland's report from Studio T in the Upper Fresh region. Mike, thanks for your enthusiasm and wonderful reports all season long.
Thank you as well. You can see I love it. A smile on my face to be just part of this wonderful group and tell everybody about catching fish is awesome. So thank you as well. Hard to have a smile when it's kind of a somber, sad end of the season, but let's tell you about it. Bass fishing on Levon, Kerry Thorne says they're on the rocks, concrete structure, such as boat ramps, riprap, bridges, like chartreuse spinnerbait. You know he loves that spinnerbait in the morning. It catches fish. Switch to the square bill if you're not catching them. Follow the shad colored patterns in the fall. And then the best bite really is anywhere from 2 foot to 8 foot. They're hugging the banks. When you're moving on to Possum Kingdom, Pete Hernandez says 84 degrees, clear to stain, depending on where you are. The staging up on ledges out in front of creeks, following the shad. That's the key in the fall. Always follow the shad. Rock crawler crankbaits, any kind of a shad crankbait. I love the Berkeley Fritz sides, but follow those and hit those points. Main lake points and secondary points. Small swim baits, also little bass and sassman swim baits can really do the same thing as a shallow crankbait. But Possum Kingdom's getting good for the fall. Ray Hubbard. Joe Shipley, he says shallow, shallow, shallow. The bait is shallow, so buzz baits, spinner baits, hit the docks, hit the rocks, but be super shallow. Later in the morning, back off a little bit, go to a Texas rig shaky head. Bass and Sassman tap out worm is my favorite. On a little shaky head around rocks and brush pile on Hubbard, you can really catch a lot of fish. And then moving to the home lake, my home lake, Lake Fork, we just hosted the Sealy Big Bass Splash where 30 over the slot fish were weighed in. Giant fish. What a wonderful lake we have here. Lake Fork, the early topwater bite has been awesome. The Berkeley Bullet Pop, the bigger Bullet Pop, if you can get your hands on that, or the large El Chapo. Bone white's the best color, but any shad color, and these fish are dirt shallow. So when one of these big ones erupts on your topwater bait, I'm telling you, you better have a good heart. It's amazing. But the shallow docks, sea walls, again, find the bait fish. That's the key. Later in the day, I do switch to the Berkeley Max Scent 8-inch worm in blue fleck or plum on secondary points, and I'm catching a lot of good fish. Here's a great picture to close the year off with one of my good buddies that pre-fished with me for the Sealy event, and we really had a good time together. I promised him I'd share this picture.
Nice. All right. What
Moving
else
on to some crappie. Crappie with Jackie Wiggins. He said the crappie's heating back up as we head into the fall. The black crappie are stacking up in big numbers on brush piles. The bite for them is still a little finicky, so smaller hand-tied jigs and small minnows are still the best bet, but anywhere from 18 to 28 feet, and the bite will get better and better as we cool down. And again, Jackie Wiggins, thanks for all he does for us in his reports, and here he is filling those tables with really good eating fish from Lake Fork and big ones, big crappie from Lake Fork.
Nice.
Super big.
Stripers and hybrids, guys. Striper and hybrids, Levon, Kerry Thorne says 10 to 15 feet underwater points at ledges in the main lake. White or chartreuse slab spoons, a 1-ounce slab spoon is really his favorite, and he loves to have that jig tied 18 inches above it. He'll catch 2 fish at a time. He does say a thumper or splasher will keep them around the boat once you get them fired up. Matt Tawakoni kind of says the same thing. The lake is about 6 inches below, 86 degrees. The hybrids are on fire. Catching them off the humps anywhere from 22 to 35 feet. And look, this picture is something I love here. It shows this young man having a great time, but look, he's doing just what Kerry says, catching 2 at a time on that double rig, and that's just the way to go. So I love it. If you got time for some catfish for you, I can throw that at you.
Go ahead, quick.
Levon's getting real good. Bigger ones are really starting to be on the move as we're cooling down. Again, they're following that bait fish. So cut bait's your best deal. Cut shad, cut bluegill, cut drum. That's for your bigger fish. And then your smaller channel catfish, just any of those pub bait type deal, chum a little bit, and you'll clean up those channel catfish.
Well,
So,
Mike.
been a great year. Thank you, man.
Well, you did a great job. Thank you for starting us off on our season finale, and we're really impressed with Studio T. We look forward to working with you next year, but we're gonna go ahead and take a look at the hot spots from the Upper Fresh region. Mike says, with the recent fall trends, the bass fishing on world famous Lake Fork has really fired up. Berkeley topwaters like the El Chapo on getting crushed by giant-sized bass, and Mac-scented worms are cleaning up on the big ones.
All right, well, next up is our rock star rookie for the season in the Phillips Upper Coast region, Captain Mickey Eastman. Mickey, you've been such a wonderful addition to our Texas family this season. I know he's no rookie, but he's our newest member on the Texas Insider Fishing
Thank you. I
Report.
appreciate it, and I enjoy it. Nobody loves talking about fishing better than I do. But, well, let's get started off. Let's bring it to a close with a bang, huh?
Yes, sir.
Speckled trout, let's start off in Galveston Bay. West Bay is still producing solid specs for waders over there, throwing topwaters like Duke dogs and she dogs and the mirror and the bone pink and chartreuse colors, and 2 to 4 feet of water, and they're fishing over shell and grass. Guts near points and drains are paying off, and trout continue to school over deep shell and gas wells, you know, along a ship channel and the upper reaches of the bay system. And Trinity Bay, that area down there, those gas wells on the south end also. Tons of action under birds in East Bay and Trinity Bay, but a lot of juvenile trout, ladyfish and gaff top fish deeper under those schools to get the better trout out from under them. Mirror Little Johns, Bass Assassin Little PV, and Pearl, Chartreuse, Pink, they're all working great. Water's clean and 81 degrees. And moving over to Sabine Lake, speckled trout are starting to being caught over shell in 6 to 8 feet of water, especially on the lower end of the lake. And they're using Bass Assassins and paddle tails in light colors early than the South Levee Wall and North Levee Wall. The trout bed has been fair to good under slicks, shad balls, and diving gulls. These fish are still moving to the north end. So fish from Pleasure Point to the Barrel Channel Cut, look out deep for slicks and birds in 5 to 6 feet of water. Water temps 82 over there and green. According to Bill Watkins, fishing is only going to get better. And this week's speckled trout photo, that's a nice speck caught with Captain Steve Hillman. And in Galveston redfish, the bull redfish run, it's full swing along a beachfront. It's wide open. At the jetties, Texas City Dike, use cut mullet, jigs, and topwaters. They're all working great. Redfish action is hot upstream in the San Jacinto watershed up in the top end of Galveston Bay. Fish those levees and river channel ledges and drop-offs, rocks, live shrimp, and salt plastics. Working really good. Water's clear and 81 degrees. In Sabine Lake redfishing, it's starting to heat up in open water in the main lake under shad balls and diving gulls in the middle of the bay when the water glass is off. Look for that. Ride around and look for those slicks. And topwaters and soft plastics, that's the best to throw. Your back lakes, bayou ledges, and river ledges near drains and points are holding fair numbers of rat and slot reds, gold spoons, square bill crankbaits, and shad pattern, and Bass Assassin and paddle tails and chartreuse colors. They're working great too. Water clarity is good and 81 degrees. This week's redfish photo is Todd Overmeyer fishing with Captain Steve Hillman. And offshore, fishing in the Gulf continues to be really good with numerous catches of all multiple species come to the docks. But amberjack fishing, that's the hot thing going on right now. It continues to be hot. They're using jigs on those. Tarpons, sharks, and bull redfish action. It's wide open along the Upper Coast beachfront. That's according to James Plog with Silver King Adventures. And the tarpon photos, Cameron Plog and Larry Higgins with 180-pound plus tarpon out of Galveston.
That sure is a big one. Thank you so much for the pictures and your contribution this year. Mickey, you did a great job. Thank you so much.
I enjoyed it. I love it. I'll see you guys.
All right,
Take
bud.
care.
We're going to go and take a look at the hot spots from the Upper Coast region. He says the deep reefs and gas well pads are good for speckled trout around Ship's Channel, East Bay, Trinity Bay, and Upper Galveston Bay. The Boulevard Surf and Galveston Surf are good for tarpon. Bull reds and sharks and slot reds are good along the shallow shoreline over the grass and the shell.
He sure did a great job for his first season
Yes, he
on
did.
our show.
Yes, he
and
did.
I know he's no rookie. Don't laugh
No,
at me.
no.
I heard you laughing
No.
Not nice. All right, the lower coast region has just about everything you could ask for, offshore and inshore coming right up. But first, we're headed to the Parts View workbench for some rigs and techniques, potting wisdom with Dave Ferrell.
Yes, all this stuff from Parts View, as a matter of fact.
Parting wisdom from Parts View.
Stuff to get your motor ready for the winter.
Oh, there we go.
That's
Winters are coming. We'll be right back.
All right.
The Texas Insider Fishing Report is brought to you by Yamaha. Reliability starts here. Ameritrail. Load, launch, relax. Fenwick. Feel everything. Bahio. Blue light blocking, radically clear polarized fishing sunglasses. Sportsman's Adventures with Captain Rick Murphy. Fishing for adventure. Berkeley. Your fish, our science. Prospect Smoked Meats. Fuel your day the Texas way. And Skeeter Performance Fishing Boats. Eat, sleep, fish.
Well, one more time, Dave, here at the Parts View workbench. Normally we talk about rigs and techniques in regards to fishing, but this week, it's important. We're getting ready to go into the fall season. A lot of guys going into the woods, go hunting.
Correct.
And their boats are going to sit up for a little while, so...
You want to make sure that when you get back to fishing that you get in the boat and try to start it up, it does that. It starts up.
So winterizing it is really critical.
The proper storage, it's the key to avoid any engine damage and, to facilitate that smooth cranking, when you get back into the boat. First thing you need to do is you need to flush the engine real well. You got a nice flush kit there. First of all, if you call Parts View before you start this whole process, you give them your VIN number on your outboard.
Yeah.
Boom, they send you everything that you need to winterize that motor, or just for tune-ups, whatever. You give them your number, boom, they send it to you. So first off, you want to flush that engine really good. You can use some salt away if you want, or just regular water. Just make sure you run some good fresh water through there, get all the debris out and all that stuff. Next, you want to stabilize your fuel system, and that Yamalube fuel stabilizer and conditioner plus, it prevents the gumming and the varnish and keeps the corrosion down as well. And then you got some Ring Free Plus there that improves your power and your motor's efficiency. You want to make sure that you get some of that into your fuel system.
Right.
Next, you want to go ahead and fog your engine. And this stuff here, you can use this to fog up, your carburetors and whatnot.
Motors.
Pretty much clean all your carburetors and spray that stuff inside there. Next, if you want to go even further, is you get some of the fogging oil, and you mix a quart of that fogging oil with 2 gallons of gas. Get you a little.
For bigger motors, 3.
Yeah,
right.
Get you a little fuel tank, fill it up, put that in there. You run your motor for 10 or 15 minutes on a fast idle, and as soon as you start seeing that smoke coming out, then that's the time you've fogged the motor. It's fogged completely at that point. So what you've done is you've coated the inside of that motor with a nice little film of that fogging oil.
Right.
And it keeps things nice and clean.
So while it's sitting, we're eliminating corrosion from inside of the motor.
From air, from humidity.
Right. And, it's one thing to wash the motor by rinsing it, as you say, but by putting the oils on the inside when the motor's not being used, then you're preventing the corrosion.
Correct.
Affecting the metals.
Correct. Next, you can change your spark plugs out. They send you all your plugs that you need for your motor. And this just will help you, again, when you go to start that motor up, and with a nice new fresh set of plugs, you'll be ready for the next
And the key, guys,
season.
is it all starts with the kit by calling Parts View and giving them what you're looking for.
You also want to change your lower unit gear oil, which, it sounds kind of like a difficult thing, but it's really super easy. You get a kit that comes with your gear oil.
Right.
You just drain.
This goes into there.
Yeah, just undo a couple of plugs, let it all drain out, put the plug back in, put this thing on there in your fill hole, and you just pump it until the gear oil starts leaking out of that top.
Because this attaches to the bottom.
That's right, and it fills it all the way up to the top, and you put your plug back in, and you're ready to go.
All right.
And the last but not least thing that you need to do is you need to disconnect your battery, because you don't want your battery sitting there, especially if you're putting the boat up someplace. You you don't want your batteries sitting there powering all this stuff on the boat. That an electrical system failure can happen, and then maybe burn up your boat.
And I also think this is from my experience.
It's better for your batteries too.
It's really from my experiences having a boat that sits in the Bahamas for 6 months. Disconnect the fuel and run the motor out of fuel. If you have an old two-stroke or a carbureted motor, keep pushing the choke at a fast idle to make sure that you get all of the oil out and all of the fuel out of the carburetors. Very important, guys. Yeah. I've never had to do a carburetor job on my two-stroke over there because I always run the fuel out, so then my high-speed jets don't get clogged. But PartsView has the ability to answer all these questions for individual cases.
And right now, if you go to partsview.com and on the promotional code, type in Texas Insider 15 at checkout, you get $15 off any order over $150. And all shipping is always free on
anything over $99.
Anything over $99.
And that's where we go.
Partsview.com.
PartsVu.
Correct. Partsview.com.
Hey, give them a call and tell them we sent you guys. That'll really pay off for you in the long run. Right, Brie?
Right, those are some good tips, and that was some good spelling, Rick. I'm so proud of you. All right, the Lower Coast region has produced great catches all season long, and with Captain Chad Kinney's help, we're sending you into fall with even more to look forward to. So, Chad, let's hear it one more time.
I tell you what, it's been on fire for a long time, and it's freaking still going really strong. So we'll talk about the trout fishing. The weather looks great this weekend, too, so the trout fishing really been good around the grass beds still, in the sand pockets up on the east flats. And there's a good amount of tarpon showing up along the beachfront here in the Lower Coast that we'll talk about here in this show here right now. With these better weather conditions, they're popping up pretty solid, which is normal for this time of year. The trout fishing, like I said, it remains really, really good. You can still find them in the 3 to 5 foot of water along the sunken spoils and drop-offs, but they're starting to show up now up in the shallower flats along the grass beds and sand pockets in that 2 to 3 foot of water. Live croaker still working really well. Free line if you're working that deeper stuff, but when I get in that shallower stuff, I definitely mix it back up where we switch out when we go to soft plastics. So we're throwing lures out there for the trout. We're using saltwater assassin magic grass or chicken on a chain, working really good. We'll use an 1/8 ounce jig head and bounce it right out those sand pockets. Or you got to work it, excuse me, sorry. Or you got to work it right along the top of the grass beds. There's been a lot of undersized fish in there, which gives you some good action, but there's also plenty of 15 to 20 inch fish. There's some really big fish up in there also moving through. So, practice catch and release on those bigger fish. Got a picture of a nice trout here. Some buddies of mine went out fishing for an afternoon and get released a 29 inch right there.
Nice.
So moving on to September and October are the best months for the beachfront for tarpon fishing. So we're right in the middle of it right now. That water clarity and calm seas are helping with the bait balls, and the tarpon are feeding off them there. So you can use some lures, and work the bait balls and get some action and stuff like that. For the bigger tarpon, though, if you're looking really for a big one, it's basically you need, my opinion is you got a bump troll, some live mullet, and wait for that bite. Bigger pen spinning reels works great for this stuff. 6,500 in solids, spooled up with some 65-pound Berkeley braid works really well. If you're using conventional, more than go to like a 30 wide 10 international, that'll do really good with the bump trolling also. Of course, catch and release on all these fish right here, and if you can, keep your fish in the water, take a good pick right there, and they'll have a good chance of a release right there. So got a great picture here of Michael Quebec on a big old tarpon there out of Matagorda up in the beachfront.
That is a monster. Look at the girth on that fish, dude.
Yeah, there's been some big boys out there, so now's the time between now and a few more weeks to get out there and do it.
All right.
Offshore fishing, that's floater rigs, has been really going off. It's been talking about for a long time. Yellowfin tuna right there, and then at the fads, there's really good numbers of billfish. Most blue marlin I've really ever seen in a long time feeding those areas. So talking about the yellowfin, like I said, the bite's been it's been nuts at the floaters out there. We've been working it hard. The trolling slowed up a bit on the bite, but as late, the feeding right now is really hitting about between 1 o'clock a.m. and about 5 a.m. So get out there and rest up. And when they show up, it's going to be like a light switch. And there's multiple ways to catch them. You can jig for them, throw poppers for them. You can throw some, best thing you do, if you can get a little dip net, catch those flying fish in the lights, and free line them out the back end. Works really, really good. The bite turns on really quick, and when it's over, it's over. So get ready and be prepared and ready to whack them when you go. So here's a picture of our last overnight yellowfin tuna fishing trip. We had over a dozen that were 50 to 90 pounds.
Wow.
And then we caught 2 blue marlin on the way back in. So talking about blue marlin, like I said, the bill fishing, it's been plentiful out there in the flats on the lower coast. There's been holding a lot of bait, which in turn is helping the bill fish. There's sailfish, white marlin, a lot of blue marlin. Like I said, we're catching a lot of blues in these areas. Just on the way back in, like I mentioned, we released 2 blue marlin within 2-3 hours on the way back in from the floater trip. We're trolling ballyhoo skirted with the chugger head, and we're watching the lines really close. Once they come up and hit it, drop it back to them, feed them a bit, get the hook set, and we're using some Penn Internationals. 50 to 80 walleyes are working really good with this stuff for these blues. It helps you get them in a lot quicker, so you get a lot better release. They're still going to be lit up and stuff, so they'll be in good shape. So they're going to hold out there until the water temp really drops. So kind of go book a trip if you can, or get on your boat and hit it now before that water temp drops.
All right, thank you so much. Are you finished there, bub?
I'm good.
All right, thank you again, Chad. We'll talk to you soon. We're going to take a look at the lower coast hotspots from Chadwick's region. Inshore, the trout fishing has picked up in the flats and 3 to 4 feet of water on the grass beds and sand pockets out of Port Mansfield, and the tarpon are showing up along the beachfront in the lower coast, and then offshore, yellowfin tuna. It's been great at the floaters as well as the billfish around those fads.
Chadwick has had some amazing trips this year.
And you know what? We're not going to get out. We're going next year.
Okay.
I'm going to book a week with him, and we're going, and somebody else can do all this stuff.
Yeah, they can. You mean me too, right?
Yeah, me.
Okay, great.
Yeah, both of us. We're leaving.
What about Dave? Bye, Dave.
We're letting everybody else worry about it, not us.
That'll be fun. All right, well, Heroes on the Water, Lower Fresh, and Startron Middle Fresh regions have your fall lunkers on lock when we come back, so stay hooked. And don't forget to stay up to date with everything fishing in Texas. While we're off the air, just scan the QR code on your screen. Follow us on social media, catch the latest fishing adventures, reports, rewatch workbench segments, and more on your YouTube channel, Captain Rick Murphy, and we'll be right back.
The Texas Insider Fishing Report is brought to you by Bass Assassin and Saltwater Assassin, the best lures, period. Berkeley, your fish, our science. Murphy's Law Sport Fishing. Book your trip today at murphyslawsportfishing.com. Abyss Battery. Power your pursuit. Rodan. Set it, forget it, catch more fish. Phillips. Building the infrastructure that safeguards our future. Berkeley Pro Spec Chrome. And Penn. Let the battle begin.
So Brie.
Yes?
We're fortunate enough in the Murphy household to have 4 of these 350s, one on a Skeeter Bay boat,
yes,
and then a triple application on a center console Front Runner 36.
Lucky.
But you know what? They do a lot of great stuff. Let's see what else we can come up with.
Let's take a look.
When I think about the new Yamaha F350, I think of how it's the perfect motor to round out Yamaha's lineup. It's much lighter than the old model and is the lightest 350 in its class, being 65 pounds lighter than the competition. The 350 is perfect for anyone who is thinking about repowering, with the motor only weighing 18 pounds more than the 300. This gives you the option of more horsepower for almost the same weight. I love the performance of my 350 on the Skeeter Bay boat. It's perfect for that 24-foot boat, pushing it at a top speed of 64 miles an hour. And with the integrated steering, it is perfect and fun to navigate through the channels and the rivers of the Everglades. The 350 also comes with thrust-enhancing reversed exhaust, which means that I have more control at low speed and very little bubble trail while I'm trolling lures and my baits so that they can be seen. The 350 70-amp alternator produces more than 30 net amps per outboard at idle. And if you have more than one, the 350 allows these alternators to be stacked to keep all of your radios, your electronics, bait well pumps running while still charging your bank of batteries. So whether you have a big offshore boat, a bay boat, or maybe thinking about building a new boat, maybe the 350 Yamaha is the way to go. If you want to know more information about any Yamahas, go to YamahaOutboards.com or to your local dealer. Any questions?
No, they just keep getting better and better. I don't know how they do it.
They do it every time.
Oh my gosh.
I love it.
All right. Well, let's drop down on into the Heroes on the Water Lower Fresh region and find out what's biting on Lake Falcon, Austin, Bastrop, Travis, and Calaveras Lake with Matt Reed. Thank you for a wonderful season, Matt, full of big bass and even bigger smiles.
Yeah, Brie, it's amazing. I think this is my 7th year, and I've enjoyed every week of it. So let's keep this thing rolling. Let's talk about the largemouth in the South Texas region. Falcon Lake bass have been a little bit stingy this week. I know I'm spoiled, but my numbers have been fair, but my size is a little off. Most of the better fish have come out of the man-made brush piles in 10 to 15 feet of water. On a Texas rig, big, Berkeley 10-inch power worm. The shaky head bite has accounted for most of the rest of my bites. I certainly expect that, expect it to pick back up very soon. Something's been just a little off. Water's been dead flat, which is never a plus. Brian Cotter sent a report from the Austin area. Lake Travis is fishing decent. The best places to start are on either end of the lake. The discharge is always a good choice early. You want to throw small swim baits and shad colors around those schooling fish to get bit. Then you can throw a Carolina rig fluke style bait after they go down. That tends to catch them, after they're not surfacing anymore. And if the Carolina isn't working, get you a shaky head with a finesse worm, and that should pick up some more bites. Later in the day, you want to move on out to those deeper ledges and humps and pick a Carolina rig back up to continue catching. Green pumpkins and watermelons are the best colors for those fish that are out on the deep main lake ledges. Lake Austin is fishing great. The best areas have hydrilla and milfoil. The grass is always a fish attractor, a great place for all types of habitat, all types of food live in there. Just tons of fish will get around it. You want to drag a creature bait or a Texas rig worm through that grass. Also, along the inside and the outside edges, they tend to, work those edges of those grass beds where they live in the middle of. Working it real slow is getting the most bites. And another way you can catch some right now is working the rocks along the deep edges, and that's catching some really big fish. The docks are always a great target. You want to choose the deeper docks and skip a jig way back under the shade. That's the best way to get those that hide under there all day. A lot of big ones will live back in there. If you want to dodge the heat, fish the docks with the lights on them at night with a big jig or a big creature bait. That's a great way to avoid the heat and catch some giants. Like Travis is fishing really well. Catch a lot of numbers and a good one here and there. The flooded brush and grass are giving up some shallow fish. And those fish are biting Texas rig, and a Berkeley swamp lord frog skipped up in that cover. If you want to chase a bigger one, you want to work the ledges and the cliffs out in that 15 to 40 feet. They're catching some really big ones out there. Got a picture from Falcon. That's my buddy James Bendelay. He owns a tackle store here, Falcon Lake Tackle. He tends to get out and catch one as often as he can.
Nice. All right, tell us about the kitty cats.
We got lots of kitty cat stuff going on. James Bray sent me a report from the Calaveras Lake. Slight cool down as the blue cats fired up. You can locate large schools of them in the major creek bends on the main lake. Cut shad and punch bait have yielded the best results. Jump cats have slowed down a little bit, but they're still holding on the main lake rock piles. Ram Reyes sent me a report from Falcon. The trophy catfishing has been better at night along the shallow flats next to the river channel. The fish seem to be holding in 8 to 10 feet of water. A live bait, either tilapia or bluegill, has caught most of them, but big chunks of fresh cut bait has also been working well for the blue cats. So all the flatheads are going to bite the live bait. Keeper cats are biting good on stink baits, small live minnows, and shrimp. Going to concentrate on the vertical structure in 10 feet of water. That has been the ticket to put the fish that you want to put in the live well to eat. Got 2 catfish pictures. One of them is from the James Bray at Lone Oak Adventures there off of Calaveras with a table full of channel and blue cat. Also got some pictures of 3 other clients all in that collage there. Just tons of catfish biting up there. And that's a cool picture of Ram himself with a big old flathead catfish that fell prey to a live tilapia.
Only a mama can love that, Mile.
That's what I got this week, guys.
You did great. Thank you so much, Matt, for all your effort this year. You did a great job. We love the fact that you represent the biggest region in Texas from basically I-10 south to the border.
Yep.
And we're grateful. Thank you so much, bud. All right, we're going to go and take a look at the lower fresh hotspots. The slight cool down has the blue cats fired up on Cavaleras Lake. You can locate large schools of major creek bends in the main lake. Cut shad and punch baits have yielded the best results. And then those channel cats have slowed a bit, but they're still holding on the main lake rock piles and get out and enjoy some of the action.
Calaveras. We're going to get this. Calaveras.
I said it.
You did not.
It sounds like it to me.
Matt Reed has been with us since the very beginning.
Absolutely.
He's an OG.
So is Bink.
So is Bink.
Yeah.
I know, I'm just saying, that's pretty cool. We love
And
Matt.
so is Chad.
And so is Chad. Okay, it looks like we're ending the season on a high note in the Star Charm Middle Fresh region, so let's get you catching the big ones on Toledo Bend and Sam Rayburn with Matt Loescher. Hello, Matt. Thanks for a great season.
Thank you, Brie. Sure enjoyed it as always. Let's get it started this week with a little bit of largemouth bass fishing. So here at Toledo Bend, we'll start here and work our way west. So here on Toledo, the water level has continued to drop slowly this week to about a full 4 feet low now. The temperature has been in the mid to upper 80s, but it is trending down, especially with this slightly cooler weather at the end of the week this week. The fish are really bunched up thanks to the lower water levels, and the bass can be found primarily in two patterns right now, on channel swings and then around the grass. The grass fish are primarily on the southwest portion of the lake, and the channel swing pattern runs throughout the lake. 8 to 15 feet of water has been the most productive depth for both of those patterns, but occasionally you will find a school holding a little bit deeper. Concentrations of shad are the key to finding the bass right now, so look for them first and they'll lead you to them. The best baits are still a worm and a topwater plug. For the worm, my go-to is still that 6-inch Bass Assassin tap-out worm, and then for the topwater, it's the Berkeley Jaywalker in chrome pattern. The crankbait bite should start getting really good throughout the coming weeks as we get into the fall, so keep an eye out for that one. And we've got a photo for you this week of another 10-pounder. Man, Toledo has just continued to put them out as we enter into the fall this year. That's Mr. Dean Lewis there with a 10.3-pounder. He weighed in a tournament this past weekend.
Wow.
And that bass weighs more than this dog.
Yeah, I think it does.
All right, what else you got?
Sam Rayburn. So Rayburn's been on a slow decline in water level. It's about 7.3 feet low now, so be extra cautious moving around out there in the boat. The temp is in the mid to upper 80s and falling slowly with the cooler days. The mouth of the drains have a lot of shad. The ones that have a lot of shad are the tickets. The fish have been holding on the 5 to 10 foot drops a lot, with a few out deeper and a few shallower as well. Just let them lead you in or out, but you start at the mouth of those drains, you'll find success. The worm, the topwater plug, and the crankbait have all been a player. Once again, look for that crankbait bite to get better as we get into the fall. All right, now let's talk about some crappie. Coming back here to Toledo Bend, the bite has been really hot this week. The only issue has been a lot of small fish, so it makes for a lot of fun catching, and we're still catching a fair amount of big ones, but you do have to weed through a lot of those small ones right now on most of the spots. The fish are holding from about 12 all the way out to 30 feet of water on the timber, and the best bait has been that monkey milk panfish assassin and then the pumpkin seed panfish assassin. Seems like that one's always good as we go into the fall. And the minnows are working pretty well too, especially the smaller ones. And I got another photo for you of a big old crappie there held up by Mr. Brandon on a recent trip with me there.
Nice. All right, what else?
Let's bounce over to Sam Rayburn, talk about some crappie there. Similar story there with lots of small fish and big fish mixed together on the timber. They're out from about 15 feet all the way out to 30 feet of water. And then the jigs and minnows are effective there too. And now we're going to go up to Granbury for a minute. I'm hearing that crappie fishing has been really good there right now. The water temperature is in the mid-80s there. The lake's still pretty full. It's only about 8 inches low. And the fish are preferring smaller jigs there too, so get you some of those panfish assassin tiny shads, that 1.5-inch model, and then the smaller minnows, and you can get to work on those crappie there at Granbury. All right, and then we'll finish out with some white bass. We're going to head down to Lake Livingston for that one. Seems like the white bass bite is always hot on Livingston. They're just always catching them out there. There's so many on that lake. They're schooling mostly early in the mornings and late in the evening, so you can get on that fast action, maybe a little topwater action then. And then jig and spoons are the ticket and a wide depth range. from 10 feet all the way out to 30 feet. So have fun with that white bass bite out there at Livingston. It's always a good time. That's all I got for you this week. Y'all, it's shaping up to be a great fall. So get those late season trips booked. If I can help you with fishing trips or electronics, please reach out. You can find me online. And I want to say thanks to everyone who watches out there. And, of course, thanks to our incredible hosts and all the production team. I'll see y'all next year.
All right, bud, give our love to the babies and to mama. Take care of yourself, and you know what? Just because we're off doesn't mean you can't call. So come down and see both me and Brie. All right?
Sound good.
All right, dude. We'll talk to you soon. The Rodan Marine Systems from the Middle Fresh region. Hotspots are the bass bite is good and getting even better on Toledo Bend, Sam Rayburn. The crappie fishing is good on 2 lakes as well. And the white bass, they're schooling on Lake Livingston. Sounds like he's got it wound up and down there.
He's got it going on. All right, it's the last few days of the Yamaha's Golden Opportunity Finance offer. From now until September 30th, 2025, purchase a new eligible Yamaha V6 4.2 liter, 225, 250, or 300 to get rates as low as 0% for 12 months, then 15.99 to 20.99% APR thereafter when purchased on a Yamaha credit card. Visit YamahaOutboards.com for complete details. But next, we are seeing what our captain in the Proshek's Middle Coast region has to close us out with, and then new products at the Parts View Workbench. Dave's taking over. What we got over there?
I got all kinds of stuff. I got a bunch of cool stuff from Guy Harvey, and I got some really nice reels and rods from Abu Garcia.
Ooh, it's looking pretty
really
pretty.
Nice. Really good stuff.
Good stuff, good stuff.
Stuff feels so good in your hand.
It looks good in your hand. Well, okay, we'll be back with that.
The Texas Insider Fishing Report is brought to you by Abu Garcia, Fish to Win, Fenwick, Feel Everything, Berkeley Pro Spec Chrome, Heroes on the Water, Paddle, Fish, Heel. Turn on the bite anytime. Tie on a MirrowLure. Front Runner Boats, performance-built offshore fishing boats made in the USA. And Startron, start, run, and store with Startron.
Today's Power Pole tip of the week is about the Power Pole Pro Series. Now guys, if you have a technical poling skiff, this is the shallow water anchor that you're gonna wanna look for. The reason why is because it's very lightweight and designed specifically for those technical poling skiffs. So if you have a Maverick HPXS with a carbon fiber, your weight is everything. Now, the Pro Series comes in a 4-foot, 6-foot, and 8-foot models. And the thing that I love about them is, depending on the model, they're only 13 to 17 pounds. We also have ported it to give it actually less weight as well. But make sure you understand that we have a very quiet pump that comes with it, so you still have that strong traditional hold when it comes to the bottom. Remember this about the Power Pole Pro Series is it's been specifically designed for technical poling skiffs and for fishing around spooky fish. So if you have any questions about any power poles, go to powerpole.com, and that's today's Power Pole tip of the week. Well, we're here at the Parts View Workbench. We're gonna troll the edge with Taco Marine and talk about some new cool products. What do you think, Dave?
We're gonna start down there with the Berkeley Pro Spec Chrome.
Right.
And this is a new 4-color 100-foot metered braid. And what this does is every 100 feet, it comes up to another color.
Right.
And what this does is allows you to get your jig right where you're marking the fish.
Right.
You know, and this was actually specifically made for the fellas out in California who are deep jigging for tuna fish.
Right.
And on those big long range boats with 30 and 40 guys at night. So, you know, it could be chaotic trying to figure out where your jig is in the water column with all those guys around, pitch dark, you can't see, you don't have a counter on most of your lever drag reels.
Right.
So this allows you, the captain will say, hey, we're marking them at, 300 feet. Boom.
So you're gonna count 3 colors?
3 colors, boom.
Stop your jig and start jigging.
Correct. So that's exactly what those are. Premium smooth, 8-carrier braid. It's optimized for jigging and or using an electric reel. Doesn't have a whole lot of coatings on it.
Right.
So when you have an electric reel and it's got a bunch of coatings on it and you're putting a ton of pressure on it, it'll squeeze those coatings out and actually make a big mess in your electric reel. So Anyway, 5 colors, 100-foot meter. So
okay,
get that at
Prospect Chrome,
berkeleyfishing.com.
All right.
Next, we have the Abu Garcia. This is the Revo Rocket spinning reel. You know, if you've got the need for speed, this guy is going to take care of you. 7.6 to 1 gear ratio. I think it gets like 40-something inches per turn with the big reel. That's the mid-size. That's the 30. It comes in a 20 and a 40 as well. Max drag is 11 pounds, which is a lot of drag for that little reel.
Super light.
Yeah, it is incredibly light and smooth. Holds 160 yards of 0.17 diameter braid. That Xenon-inspired body design, it's called an ASIM body design, minimizes the size of the reel, but still keeps it really balanced. And a good weight for, you know, for casting. A performance is optimized because it's got this really nice spool lip on here, the rocket spool, the V rotor design. If you notice, it has a little V to the design, and a line management system it's all built for casting and good balance.
Okay.
And it's on that Veritas spinning rod. That's a 6.9. I believe, medium light, one piece. It's got the PowerLux 100 construction, 15% stronger, 5% lighter than their normal. It's got titanium alloy guides and super thin silica inserts. So, and a thing called a ROCS system. It's a robotically optimized casting system, so that all these guides are put on there perfectly, so it casts perfect. So go to abugarcia.com to get
your
that
rod
cool setup.
or reel or even a combo.
Correct.
All right.
Next, we got some cool Guy Harvey apparel, and I want to thank Guy for sponsoring us this year. So
yes, sir.
He does a really good job. This is the men's Fast Flag lightweight T-shirt. Bass in the USA, can't beat that. Bold new graphics, 100% lightweight cotton. It's a lot softer, more breathable than the cotton we used to use. You know, that was real heavy. This is really good stuff. Classic fit, very patriotic. Next, we have the men's boat stretch performance shirt. It's a lightweight polyester, ventilated back. Yep, exactly.
Checking the size.
It's really cool.
You will see Ricky.
That's actually the micro lures one. 100% polyester.
Polyester?
UPF 40.
All right.
As well. And then we got the Bass Performance sun protection as well. It's got long sleeve, 100% recycled. This is made out of recycled polyester. Super, super soft. UPS 50 as well. Moisture wicking. It's got the stretch construction. That largemouth bass with the shield is pretty cool. And always long sleeve too.
Brie, if I put this on, we'd be matchy-matchy.
We would be matchy-matchy in coral.
Salmon color.
Where do we go? GuyHarvey.com to buy those.
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead, Brie.
That's some good stuff over there. All right, get ready for some more good stuff and some solid redfish and trout action in the Project's Middle Coast region with Captain Bink Grimes. Bink, thanks for your thorough reports and persistent conservation efforts as always. Go ahead.
Hey, I enjoy doing the show. It's been another good year. Our tides are swelling and the autumn equinox is here. New recruits of tide runners and bait fish are flooding the bays. Every piece of water is a player right now. It's a good time to be fishing. We've seen great results in September with several big trout released. Great thing about East Matagorda Bay is you don't have to wade to find big trout. We're catching them while drifting in 5.5, 6 foot of water. We're also catching them wading, but you can't catch a big trout if you don't like getting out of the boat as well. Large tides are pushing those trout tight to the shorelines in Rockport also, where corkies and sheep pups have been held on the edge of the grass and sand. Spots along the St. Joe shoreline has been great this month as well. Port O'Connor, those reefs in San Antonio Bay have been hot with the calm winds. Waders and boaters both have found the edges of the reefs for trout with soft plastic, bass assassins, and gulps. Rockport waders, corkies, and topwaters around the same area, Carlos and Mesquite Bay. Most of those fish are hanging around reefs in the sand and grass pockets. And then the reef in East Matagorda Bay has been players as well. Mid-Bay reefs, we've enjoyed some good wading action on sheep pups and bass assassins. Most of those fish are right off the tips of those reefs, and you just stand out there and get on them. West Matagorda Bay has been good while wading trout on the south shoreline. Those tossed and top waters have found bigger trout along the grass lines with these high tides. Half Moon Reef, Coon Island Reef, and those reefs around Turtle Bay have been good on live shrimp under popping cork. You can expect in the coming days more birds to work as the autumn gets here. Shows her face. That's kind of our deal in Matagorda. Our birds work in the fall, and it's really good fishing. Photo there. It's been a solid 2025 for speckled trout. Our fishies are bouncing back with sound conservation, and we appreciate all our anglers taking the time to do that. There's lots of shrimp in the back lakes where redfish are being found in the marshes. Or target them with small topwaters, live shrimp, and gulps under mid-coast corks. Cut off flat, Dipper and Bayou, Shell Island, and Twill Island are all players. And Rockport, the back lakes like Allen's Bight and the marshes of San Joe Island, holding lots of redfish. The Estes Flats are good while drifting with soft plastics under a rattle cork. Some of the largest redfish right now will be found in East Matagorda Bay as those birds work. When things are firing off in fall, there'll be 10 to 20 groups working in the bay. One will have solid trout underneath them. The other will have redfish. Many times you can spot if it's a redfish under birds or a trout under birds by the kind of bird. And most of the time when the terns are circling, it's redfish, and when the laughing gulls are circling, it's trout. Waders along the South Shore line of West Bay, they're working points of shell and bass assassins and corkies. If you want redfish and black drum right now, you can do it in the same areas on those reefs right now, and live shrimp's been the best bet there. As fish move into the bays, they'll be found on the grassy shorelines on north and south side. A lot of bull redfish will be coming in from the Gulf right now. Most people are tossing shrimp right along the edge of the grass, and most are throwing small topwaters like sheep pups and top pups, and just looking at those ripples and wakes coming down the shoreline and casting to them. And then the jetty action, it's always good from Freeport to Ranges. Bull redfish are making their way to the Gulf to spawn right now, and those rocks are holding a whole lot of big old bull redfish. Offshore action, man, our tarpon continue to shine as they shadow rafts of bogeys. Jetty action around Port O'Connor holding steady numbers, but the larger fish have been found right off the beachfront in 20 foot of water. Some are throwing DOA shrimp, some of them are throwing mullet, some of them are throwing coon pops, and it's just getting better and better. Our tarpon season really peaks in October. There remains a consistent bite for red snapper as well as large redfish as well in state waters right now. But hey, it's been another great season along the Prospect Smokehouse Middle Coast region. Thanks to all our viewers. I hope we give you something you could take and apply to the water, catch more fish. Please continue to practice more conservation, sound judgment. Consider releasing more than you take. Catch and release is cool, and it's making a difference here in Texas.
All right, Bink, thank you so much. We appreciate batting cleanup tonight. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the mirror lure hotspots from the Middle Coast region. Bink says the trout are good on the reef in the East Bay while drifting with bass assassin. The redfish action is solid in the back lakes around the schooling pods of fish on gulps and finger mullets.
All right, well, as we wrap things up, it's time to take a look at what you've been reeling in from the Gulf to the lakes and creeks. Here's what's popping on Seize the Social this week. Let's take a look for the last time.
Season it.
Look at babies.
Oh my gosh.
Never. Oh! That's a core memory. That's not being forgotten. Oh man!
That carp took out all three of them.
Yeah, that was a good shot.
Holy
the
carp.
one little girl, she was already crying before she got duped by a
She
carp.
knew it was coming.
All those.
That wasn't the first time going down that canal.
I love the fact that the fish win every once in a while. They beat them kids.
They beat them. They beat them. They won't forget it. All right.
I love it.
You know what? If you have a clip worth sharing, send it our way. We'll keep it in our archives and put it on the show next season. What do you say, gentlemen?
I think that'd be really cool.
I think that would be cool.
You know what I also think? I think
what do you
it's
think?
time.
Oh, is it snack time?
It's time to see what's in Ricky Dickey's cooler.
Let's hear it. Well, thank you to our
I
Media
think
Pro
I'm
crew,
feeling meat
captains, our media team, and of course our lovely sponsors, and you, our viewers. Make sure to stay with us during the off season, right, on Captain Rick Murphy YouTube, social media channels.
Yeah.
Happy fishing, happy hunting, happy holidays, happy New Year.
And we'll be back. And we'll be back in April.
And
2026. Happy
Jerky.
snacking. Go visit your local projects.
Hey
There
guys,
you go, Dave. I'm going to share for the last time.
be safe out there. Remember to wear your kill switches, and more importantly, enjoy the outdoors. That's what this is all about.
Exactly.
That's good stuff.
Cheers. We'll see you next season. Cheers.